Let's do it.
All right, so I guess welcome to the first of the, or second, I guess, of the capital project meetings. We'll kick things off by going to the approval of the, well, I guess that's official call of order. And now we'll approval of prior minutes. Everyone get a chance to look at the minutes from last week?
Yep.
Did anyone have any modifications or feedback?
Had several things. Let's see. Let me go back. I've written I get it apart here. Okay, line 34. I'm just going to add Tuesday, July 8, 2025 to clarify it because we had clarified it at the meeting. And it did not get in the minutes. Let's see, 41, line 41. It was also noted that to have information out 1 week prior to meeting time. That did not get into the minutes. And then my name on line 45, just take the S off. There's only one of me.
Sure.
That's it.
So we'll approve those at the next
Anybody
meeting.
want to take my robocall? 65th of the day.
So,
Sure.
nothing else, I'll make a motion that we adopt the minutes as modified.
Be modified?
Sure. I'll second that.
Motion, you got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0, minutes are approved.
Very easy group.
There were good changes. That brings us into our project overview and/or presentations, which we have one tonight, and that is the Recreation Department, and I believe Ari is here to speak on that.
Yes.
Tennis project.
To give you some background, the Nelson Road recreation site, somewhere around 1974, 75, somewhere in there is when it was built. It was built with state money, it was built with some federal money, and some town money. Initially, we had 2 tennis courts, 2 basketball courts, and that was about it, and other things have been added since. Right now, our biggest problem, the 2 tennis courts are in dire need of repair. The first tennis court, when you go up there, is the one furthest away from where you enter. Was built in 1975. And it was built with federal funds, which was a plus. Because if you built it with federal funds, it has to have drainage underneath rather than just domed. So that court has lasted, it's
50 years.
50 years old. The second court was built in 2000, and it was built by DPW. Our town engineer designed it, but there was no drainage piping underneath. The basketball court, when it was initially built, was doubling as a ice skating rink in the winter. So, asphalt, ice, not a good mix. We had a big drainage pipe about this big in the middle, and we would flood it, and it wasn't a good mix. And we made do with it, and that was rebuilt, I think around 2000, we finally got it rebuilt because it was just lifting. Now, the courts right now, can you go through this?
Sure.
I've never done that, I don't.
I got you.
This is what they, the first upper left is just cracks in the court. Why does the court crack? It's New Hampshire. It's the way it goes. And the middle one on the bottom is another crack on the basketball court. Up above in the middle, you see Doug there, and I'm there with Sid Kerr, and the water, because there was a pitch to the tennis courts, and the playground wasn't there yet, it was okay, but when the playground went in, now we get what we got there. The basketball court on the right of the backboard, those are unbelievably sturdy backboards. The rims, I don't even know if they make those anymore. They've been up for 50 years, and they last, but they're getting old. We do have some people who want to refurbish, fundraising stuff, to refurbish the basketball courts. They would like to put up glass backboards. My big concern was, what if somebody shoots it with a pellet gun or throws a rock at it? And supposedly they're warranted, they won't break. So the fencing you see on the left, one of the problems was snow removal when the high school kids park there, and that's just from snow removal, it's not from somebody driving up there. And the benches are old and outdated, and we repair them, and they were good while they were there, it lasted, but they're going. Next slide, please. I always wanted to say that. And you can see the amount of cracking we have. The one on the left is, on the left, right in the middle, you see the little rippling? That's not a good thing. So, new town manager asked me to take him around. I took him around and I showed him, and he gets down and he's knocking on the pavement, and you can hear an echo. So they need to be redone. We had talked about having them patched, which we've had 2 or 3 times, and the people who do this, the patchwork for a living, will tell you, oh yeah, it'll last. It's kind of like the unscrupulous driveway paving guys that come around. And they've seen their life. They need to be dug up, drainage in, and taken care of. Next slide. I don't know how many more slides we've got. It's kind of the same thing. It's just, so we should replace all 8 posts, irrigation runoff, basketball hoops. Honestly, the benches being replaced at the basketball courts, if we had the money, yes, but I'd have a difficult time asking for a lot of money from the taxpayers so people can sit down and rest. I don't know. The bench on the right, the picnic tables, we've got new picnic tables. The way to go is with, the metal ones, and they're coated. And I would guess that bench right there is probably about $800. And I'm old, and I know things have gone up in price, but, really? And that's what the back, something like that, some facsimile to that, to the basketball courts.
Is there a reason why it has to be glass?
Just a
Or is that the
request.
style or something?
It's, somebody talked to me about it, and they said, look, these things have been up since 1975. They haven't broken, the rims haven't broken. They don't bounce right. I said, well, if you get it into the hole, it doesn't matter how it bounces. And but I think it's, the kids that play up there would very much like to have the glass ones. And that's the whole new thing. And to me, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm a cheap old Yankee, so I'm more concerned with the footing than the looks. But if you're gonna do it and do it all, now would be the time to do it. To retrofit them in would be somewhat difficult, because now you do have to get it to 10 feet. And that may be somewhat difficult, and
it could cost more, I suppose, too.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's better to do the whole thing at once.
Can the same company do the basketball courts and the tennis courts? I assume it's two very similar
It's a
surfaces.
couple of steps to the project, okay? The first step is basically construction, like you were building a driveway or a road.
Yep.
To get the proper undersurface, all of that, the drainage underneath, everything. And then once it's hot topped, then you get a company that comes in and puts down, they paint it, but it's a special kind of paint, and then they put the lines in. So there may be companies that'll do the whole thing. I think we'd be better off, having somebody come in that really knows asphalt, and then let the guys that do the top coating and the painting of the lines, who really know that stuff, do that.
Because they can put the color in the asphalt itself, I guess, when it's made. So, like on our footpath by the Historical Society,
Yes.
that color was actually part of the asphalt.
Has it lasted?
It fades a bit. It's still there. You can distinguish it, but I'm sure in time it'll fade. Any paint, any dye.
The painting, it's not just the painting, it's a special coating that is more conducive to playing basketball and tennis.
It's probably rubberized or something.
It's a little bit rubberized.
Traction. And
Yeah, and traction and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not just regular asphalt like in the driveway. So,
I think he answered this sort of, but I think just to clarify, this does include like all the full drainage under all courts and everything.
don't know,
Okay,
because I don't know what's really needed, because I don't know what's under there.
so we
And-
won't really have an idea until we actually dig it up and see what's currently existing and what
Which is-
state it's in.
Which is a very difficult thing, because we're asking for something. It's like, I'm saying to you, can you fix my car? And you say, sure, but I don't know what's wrong with it. And it could be, I need an air filter, it could be I need an engine. I think on the upper two courts, we're gonna have to put drainage in.
If you want it to last.
If I want it to last. Yeah, and that's, winter takes its toll on us with the freeze and but if you have the drainage, it's a little bit, the lower courts have lasted much better than the upper courts. And there's drainage there. Now, I got this from the town manager, who said, well, there has to be drainage there because of the fed, and he cited me all the stuff, because he knows all that stuff. And
So
So-
can I ask how you got to that number, 750?
We use basically the industry kind of rough, what it's going for now. 20 years ago, I could get people to come in and give me an estimate, like, I'll be there tomorrow. It doesn't happen now.
Okay.
It's just harder to get them out, and they're gonna give me the same thing, well, it depends what's underneath, and so we just went with what the industry is typically paying now.
And what are we expecting for a life cycle for the next, if these were updated, 20 years more?
I think if it's done right, you're gonna get another 25 years out of them. You may have to repaint the lines and that kind of stuff, but what we have right now, and it doesn't show it, but like in the spring, I went out there and there's one section, like right by the net on the upper courts, where this is the height of the one side, and this was the height of the other side. Now luckily, it was right at the net, so nobody was gonna trip on it. Now, I did talk we talked with the school people, and I talked with, and I can't remember his name, John,
Joe
The old-
Barzik.
what is it?
Joe Barzik?
Barzik, yes. I'd still call him the new Chuck Zappala. And I talked to him about this, and we discussed, email stuff, and I said, because we could fix this for we could patch the cracks and that kind of stuff for 60, 70,000. I have a hard time with that, because the courts are gonna go. It's just a matter of time before you're gonna have to redo them. And my fear is, we go in and say, yeah, we need $70,000 for this, and it gets approved in the town budget. And then 2 years later, I'm saying, hey, we gotta redo them.
Mhm.
They're gonna look at me like I got two heads. So I just see it as a waste of money to, it's like the old Volkswagens when people would put the Rolls Royce hood on it. Remember those? So, you know, the kids would drive around like they're driving a Rolls Royce, still a Volkswagen underneath. So, it's a lot of money. They get a lot of use. The school uses them. The district is concerned with this because I do find this a little aggravating. A couple of years ago, Pinkerton came over to play here, and the Pinkerton coach was saying how our courts weren't playable and da. I just, go back where you belong. So,
Certain level of rivalry that came with that comment, I'm guessing.
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, the thing is, I played football against Pinkerton, and I'm friends with their coaches. They're great guys. This guy just kind of had like an attitude, you know, like, look, these are what we got, pal. I don't know what you want me to do. So, and we have a lot of people that play tennis. If you go up, not recently because it's been too hot, but we have a group of ladies that Sid and I call the Wimbledon crowd. They go up. There's anywhere from 10 to 12 ladies that go up in the morning and play, and they have a great time. We have kids' lessons going on, and
So they're used pretty heavily.
they are used, because when the whole thing with pickleball came up, somebody had said that, well, we should convert to tennis courts. Well, both of those were written on warrant articles for tennis. So we'd have to go back to the town meeting to change it. And they're used a lot. So I think we need pickleball, but their needs are being met right now. So I'd like to have 8 tennis courts. I could go with 6 pickleball courts, but we're not gonna get that approved.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
How many do we have currently?
We have 4 tennis courts.
Okay.
State statute says, you know, the state puts out the stuff, this is what you should have. I think it's like 16 or something, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't really go by those things. I kind of go like, if those courts were being, like, people were waiting to play over and over again, I'd say, okay, we have a need.
What's the real use is what you're looking at.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to be reasonable, you know, could we use another outdoor basketball court? Yeah, but some kids may have to wait to play. So, but I think we can make do with the four courts. You need at least 4 to play high school tennis. So, and we, as recreation people, we get way more from the school than we give back. All of our indoor stuff, wrestling, basketball, cheerleading, the fields, the youth groups that use their fields and stuff. So they're kind of like the rich uncle that likes us, you know, so.
Yeah, we gotta be nice to them.
Yeah, and if we could help, it would help them, and our tennis programs are getting much better at the high school, and I think middle school uses it for, I don't know if they did this past year.
I don't know.
For, it wouldn't have gone through you anyway, I don't think. They would reserve a time and they had something going on. Yeah, put up a sign.
Yeah.
So,
I know a lot of our summer basketball programs use the outdoor courts for practices too.
Yep.
They find times that are open and they just all meet there and practice there.
yep. And it's getting the kids out playing rather than sitting at home, and to me, that's the big thing. You know, so. Is that the last slide?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go, the cost. I was avoiding that one.
It's okay. There you go.
So that's what we're kind of figuring. I think the basketball courts were pretty well built, so
Would just be a repaving?
I'm sorry.
That'd just be a repaving or?
No, yeah, they'd have, my opinion is, just like when they do the roads now, Remember the old days when they just go do a skim coat?
Oh, yeah, you get
And
the
then-
farmer's mix.
And then 2 years later, you'd have to do it again, and 2 years later again. But if they, my suggestion would be go in and mulch it up, whatever they do, that
Strip it down, yeah.
they pulverize it. And then that's the base, and then you go in and put the new base on top.
They have a hammer mill grinds it up.
Yeah,
Get the, like in the town forest, that's the same stuff.
and there is a group that's working to raise money to get the basketball courts up. I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, the cracks would, they've done quite well. But that's
These are,
water underneath the,
and typically, like, you see that line that goes right down the middle,
yeah,
that's probably where the seam is when they put the pavement out, and that's the spot that usually goes.
yeah.
But they've held up pretty well. We've had to put rocks up. You can see the rocks up in the back. We had to put those up because we had kids, I say kids, they may not have been kids, driving on there with their cars and cutting donuts.
Oh,
And we did have a porta potty moved to the side of the court and burned a while back. But overall, the basketball, and they're always busy. May not be tonight with the heat, but typically when it cools off a little bit at night, you may get adults playing and there's some teenagers playing, and it's kind of a nice mix. So,
And those, to each court, that's including the equipment stuff, I'm assuming, since there's no line items there, so it's also the nets and the posts and all that.
we are hoping at this point that the group that wants to raise money, and that's what they want to do.
Oh, I got you. Yep,
So-
that makes sense.
Because every time we hear that, one of my pet peeves, well, did you do any fundraising? There's a group doing the fundraising.
Yep.
And it's hard, it's just hard it's harder now to raise funds, I think, than ever before.
Yep.
So,
And you're looking at doing this as a single project and not splitting out the basketball courts from the tennis courts?
well, it's usually cheaper if you get somebody up to do everything, boom, get them done, and we'd have to shut them down, it'll be an inconvenience, but then it'll be cheaper, and rather than going through that, doing one court, then the other will cost us a lot more money.
yeah, other than that, to move the equipment in,
Move.
usually the cost is getting the equipment there. Then once it's there, you want to do everything. That's the cheapest way.
Get it done and be done with it, so.
Okay.
I went over my 8 minutes, but
Yeah,
That's
I think it's
okay.
good. Any other questions before we go on to the?
So I guess my last statement is, if you're doing biannual maintenance or, every 2 or 3 years, you gotta spend $75,000 to do some upgrades to that. I think just doing it up front and doing it right's better than that, because 10 years down the road, 75,000 is gonna be 125,000.
yes. And we had a discussion at the rec commission meeting, and I was in a minority by myself. Because I just can't see spending somebody else's money when you're not gonna do it right.
Yep.
I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that was the way I was always brought up.
Yeah,
Do it right.
Do it right.
You do it right, and it lasts a while. It's true.
Yep.
So
You know,
I
we
have a question.
Yes,
Would you be willing to compromise and just replace the 4 instead of add the additional 4? Because $125K for each tennis court is a lot to swallow. That's just my thought.
I mean, do half of it.
Well, I mean, we have 4 existing, correct?
We only have 4, yes.
Yes, and you want to put in 8.
No, this is just to refurbish the 4 that are there.
Oh, okay, because in your math it looked like it had 8 on there. So that's where I was confused.
I don't know.
Yeah, go back.
Which what is your projected time frame to do propose
Oh,
this?
10 those are posts.
Just the posts, okay,
Yeah,
Okay,
because
got
there's,
it.
there's 2 for each court.
okay, then I retract all of that,
Okay.
I apologize.
Are you trying to do this for this budget season or as soon as?
Well, this has to, I'm not sure, I've never come to this.
Yeah, so
this before.
typically you'll submit your project and it's within this, so CIP plan is a 6-year period. And through the review and discussion of the projects, this committee determines, one, if they are in agreement on with your scoring, how you scored your
Mhm.
project. And then the second piece of that is talking about where within that 6-year period, this should be, from your standpoint, and then the committee will discuss that as well.
Well, I think it should come as soon as possible.
Okay.
If it gets to the point where it becomes unsafe, like I can remember like 25 years ago, one of the softball players came up to me and said, the field's not safe. I don't remember what he wanted me to do, like fix the fence. I said, if you're telling me the field is unsafe, I gotta shut it down. I can't put people out there to play on an unsafe field. Well, it's not really unsafe. Okay, then don't say that to me. But I think if we get to that point where, like, if the high school team in the spring, some spring goes out there and a team comes up and says, no, we can't play on this because then we'd have to shut it down. And that's what I'd like to avoid.
Think we're in danger of that in the upcoming year, or like, what, like just,
This-
I know it's a
yeah.
stab in the dark, and there's no
Yeah.
way to
I-
predict, but like,
I
if we
was-
were to just,
Yeah.
like, hey, we got 2 years to do this before,
Yeah.
it's just gonna really degrade to the point that people are gonna say no, or is that just?
I was close this year when there was like about an inch difference, or, not an inch, 3/4 of an inch difference, but it was right at the net.
Yeah.
Had that been in the playing surface, I probably would have, I don't know what I would have done. I would have had to shut them down or try to get a roller in to try to compact it or something, but you can't put people out there playing on that when,
So we basically just got lucky at the seam that came.
I got lucky.
happened to be
It-
across
very
the net.
lucky.
If it was anywhere else, it would have.
because I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's, and that is that much of a lip, not good.
So I'll just add, if you're okay with it, just, so the CIP plan is, as we know, is an advisory document, right? So the costs and the time frame, the 6-year time frame where we place these projects is subject to change. The goal is that we're just getting the projects in there through that 6-year planning period, if you will. And then every year we should be evaluating them, and if we need to adjust them, we can. But the important piece is getting them in there. I just say that because sometimes people will watch and they'll see these projects come up, and not so much here, but when they rewatch this meeting, they assume that we're approving a project for $750K and it's gonna happen in FY27, but that's not the case. This is meant to just be a planning tool, a financial planning tool for council and budget
So
and school to
the actual
realize.
time it gets approved is town meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's gotta go through the school board, it's gotta go through the town council for them to support, and they have to defend it at town meeting along with all the interested parties. So it's the voter that makes the final decision.
So I'll add to
clarification.
that, so historically, we haven't had, at least in my time here, this many meetings, the 6 meetings. And so we, at least as long as I've been here, we've discussed all of the CIP projects in one meeting and then done the ranking all at the same time, so that you're kind of almost evaluating them all at once, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I did have the ranking in that discussion for you guys to consider tonight. But if you would prefer to wait until you have until you've heard presentations on all of the projects before you finalize the rankings on each, you can do that as well. I'll leave it up to you
So
what you
that's
want
the
to do.
rankings against one another? Is that what- or
So
is
that's
that-
the
or is that
ranking
here?
based on the evaluation criteria up here. So
Okay.
what's on the screen now is the recreation department's ranking their view of where this falls, based on the criteria and the point system. And then this committee would review this, and you'll come up with your own evaluation, assigning a number, evaluation score, I should say, to each one of these items, totaling, coming up with a total project score, and then that ultimately would get put into the overall 6-year plan, along with the other projects once they're scored.
So my personal, and I'll let everyone
Mhm.
please weigh in, my personal thoughts are we should at least go through this tonight once, maybe we relook at it in our final meeting to say, does everything still make sense? But my only thought process, because Art is here, if we have questions to any of these specific rankings that he's given them, we can ask. But if anyone else has a different opinion, please, by all means.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest too, because this is all very fresh in our minds.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right, Art's
Yep.
here. Yeah, so I would say do it now, but then also revisit afterwards. That's exactly what I was gonna say, so,
Perfect.
yeah.
To me, it's a balance of the wants and needs, but we, gotta look at all the submissions from, get something from the police, I know there's gonna be school stuff, I know there's gonna be town stuff also, so. We can kind of make a, somewhat of a judgment on this, but to me, it's like looking at, just recreation. We're gonna fit it in with everything else and come up with something that's balanced, and it's not gonna tilt the tax rate from one year to the next.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I think, Art's got some valid points, I might disagree on some, but it's like, what's the difference with a point? So,
Yeah.
Which one do you disagree with, Mr. Rugg?
I agree with long-term savings, it provides capacity needed. There's probably not much I disagree with. I would probably deficiency provides to a floor, but that's
You can give me, yeah. you can-
purely subjective on my part.
Yeah.
So what are non-property tax revenues?
Leverages to the non-property tax revenues.
Yeah,
So, that's a good question.
I don't know what
Should
that
know the
means.
answer to.
I have no idea what that meant, so I put a 0.
Fair.
I
So,
assume that was probably referring to any other funds that come in, to the town, whether it be from grants or from,
yeah, the other means of
any
funding for the
any other
project.
funds that
Other
comes in.
If you're-
revenue
That makes
sources,
sense.
yeah,
Right.
okay.
Well,
I'm only saying that because the next one talks about matching funds available, so I'm assuming that someone had a thought process of,
Yeah, I'm
of
guessing that's revenues that come in that's not property tax to the town, and then the next one is, for example, the group that's raising funds that's willing to put it towards this, since that's not technically a revenue that's coming in.
there you go. See the chair now, that's important.
If my interpretation was right, that's, I caveat that.
Yeah.
It's a new interpretation.
the matching funds, I went with what Doug said, because he said there may be money out there.
Yeah.
The leverages, the non-property thing, is that like the fundraising that's going on, or?
Could it be like what they did with the rail trail?
That's what I was thinking.
I guess.
Motor vehicle reclamation fund,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that, as it says, non-property.
Non-property tax, yeah.
revenue.
Revenues from non-property tax
Yeah.
sources. Just,
It's probably a better way to phrase it,
yeah.
instead of whatever that says.
But overall, I think the 20 out of 35 is very fair.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't see anything personally that I look at here and have a major question as to why you ranked it there.
Here's the problem I have in defending this, though. Is it a necessity for the town to have tennis courts? No. Is it a necessity for the town to have the library? No. Is it a necessity to have all the playing fields we have for the kids? No. But it's a quality of life
Absolutely.
that we have. But
And I think it's an opportunity for
Yeah.
the voters to
Yeah.
make a decision on what they
Right.
want. Because, I mean, this community has been always very supportive of schools, but also quality of life
Quality of
issues
life,
too.
absolutely.
and, the necessities to me would be, we got fire protection, we got police protection, we have an ambulance. the necessities of life. But
Snow plows, things like that.
snow plows,
Those types of things
yeah,
you
people
just
have to
can't
get out to
do.
work, yeah.
Traffic.
So that's just me though. I'm not sure all rec directors would say that, but,
Well, that's where they said like the voters come in.
yeah,
So,
yep.
yeah, I agree with your ratings.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But I have to say, our recreation department has always had a very tight budget, and probably should be spending more for the size of this community. But I think it's, I think times are changing. I mean, I've seen the change like in the last 10 years in this community, so.
It's changed a great deal. We used to basically be a completely part-time, every employee that we had was
All part-time.
Part-time
Art
and-
did all the work. I mean,
and volunteers.
Mhm.
And we have a part-time person who's up at Nelson Road, picks up the area, grooms the field and, you know, neatens it up and all that stuff. We have one person employed. And it's a high school student who's absolutely fantastic. He loves the job. I went up on the 4th of July just to check, and he's out there weed whacking the weeds underneath the guardrail, so it looks better.
Oh.
He didn't have anything going on at home. So but it's getting harder, to get the volunteers is getting harder and harder and harder. And people aren't stepping up like they used
Do we
to.
actively seek for them? I don't even know.
Most of the rec programs do.
Okay.
We see it the same at the schools.
Yeah.
It's harder and harder to get people. I think
Okay.
people have a lot going on and more people are working.
For sure.
The economy is not one where it's conducive not to be at work, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all of the groups are going through the same thing, so
yeah, hopefully it's cyclic.
hopefully the pendulum comes back,
Knock on wood.
you know, so.
Hey, even with Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission, 2 towns that have not sent a person, commissioner to be on it, so they're not really represented. There's Hooksett, and then, Candia's finally got a person now.
Wow.
It's been
Wow,
tough.
so,
I guess, do we need any kind of official movement, or is just our consensus? To
So
those
consensus
numbers?
is fine for now. So what I heard was the 4 present are in agreement with the scoring that was proposed by the rec department.
Yep.
And so, like I said before, and like Art, or one of you said, we can, once we get to our final meeting, we'll finalize the scoring, it's a spreadsheet with everything prioritized and all that to then send to the planning board, so you'll have the opportunity to see everything all at once.
Perfect.
So outside of that, whatever else you have.
I think that's it. From that, is there any other business before we close out tonight?
I guess just a quick question. So the scoring criteria, are we gonna use that for both the school and the town projects? It's the same criteria?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's just at this point, listen things out and ask the questions so that we're individually comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And can even make a presentation from it. You have to steal our slides though.
Did you do that all by yourself?
what the
The
hell?
PowerPoint?
What makes a great football coach? Great players. I have a great player.
Well said.
Doug is good.
Doug is fantastic.
Yeah.
So Doug, can you take a few pictures? I just, the summer rec has started, so I'm down there and I said, just take a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
And then, boom, there we go. And the thing is, I don't even, like, it's like I'm coming in and I know he's done something, and you put it together too. No, he did it all?
I had nothing to do with this, I just put.
Well, he said you, yeah, okay. And it's like, it's always, this is it, you know?
Wow,
Cool.
He's just,
it's good as, nothing like a picture to explain something.
yeah,
It's
it's,
so
yeah,
helpful.
how bad was the car accident? You don't know until you see the picture, right?
Yeah.
So-
Oh, I do have a question. How many other people have submitted and what are they?
So we have, for municipal, we have rec, 2 DPW projects,
Okay.
which are the DPW master plan for the facility
Mm-hmm.
and the Reverend Morrison House. And then we have from the town manager's office, OpenGov software program, which is essentially a program that's geared towards managing permitting processes town hall wide, so planning, building, DPW,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an aspect to that related to kind of like asset management. And then on the school side, there's 5 projects.
One may be removed,
Okay.
and 2 are very related. And the ones we're gonna present next week are more towards the end of the 6 years. We just want it on the radar that it will need to be done.
And we have 3 school projects next week. right?
Yep, so 2 are on a turf field project, and 1 is on renovations to the high school, phase 1 and auditorium. It's one that is a repeat that I think has been in CIP for a long
Yep,
time.
yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the 2 that we do the following week are the ones that are more priority to us, full day K and the district office
Yep.
placement, because our lease is getting near its end.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. Nice preview. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for
Any
this.
other
Yeah.
questions or comments or anything before we close up?
If there's nothing, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for your,
Thank you.
thank you for your time in doing this.